When arriving at the customer, have them direct you to the appropriate unloading area. Have the customer check your seals and tell you which silo you will unload into. Have the customer sign your trip sheet where it says OK to unload, and have them initial along with writing which silo you will unload into. Remove your product cap from your product hose. Remove the cap from your discharge line. Place the two caps together and connect your hose to the product line. Now pull your product hose completely out, carry it over to the connection on the customer silo. Be sure not to drop the end of the hose on the ground, as this will damage your connections. Remove the cap from the customer's line. Remove the cap from your product screen. Install your screen on the customer's inlet. Remove the cap from the other side of your screen and remove the cap from your product hose. Placing those caps all together to prevent contamination, connect your product hose to your inline screen. All of your connections have been made. Be sure to use your red food liner safety straps to secure all cam locks in place during the unload process. Here are a few things you can do if your product hose has a loose connection. Remove your product hose and replace the gasket. If this does not work, try to rotate your product hose slightly to get a better connection. Remember, shims are not allowed. Remember to use your hose stands at all times while unloading. Once the connection is made, as you walk alongside of your trailer, check to ensure that all your individual aerators are open, your hopper valves are closed, your main aerator valve is open, your pressure control valve is open, your blowdown is closed, and your top air is closed. It is now time to connect the hot hose to the blower. Be sure that all connections are secured. We will now review the four main valves. The first valve is a top air valve. That allows you to pressurize through the top of the trailer. The second valve is your blowdown valve. That relieves all tank pressure. The third valve is your main aerator valve. That allows you to pressurize the trailer through the bottom. The last valve is your pressure control valve. That regulates your airflow through the product line and into the customer silo during the unload process. It is now time to engage your blower. From the driver's seat, press your clutch to the floor, put your transmission in any forward gear, engage your PTO selector switch, put your transmission back in neutral, using your cruise control resume button, raise your RPMs to 800 to 900 RPM. Warning: beware of the PTO shaft. Keep clear of the spinning shaft, as loose clothing increases the risk of serious injury. It is now time to close the pressure control valve and let the tank pressure build to the customer's desired unloading pressure, usually between 8 and 12 psi. When the tank pressure gauge approaches the customer's desired pressure, open the pressure control valve halfway. Without pausing, gradually open the first hopper valve until it is completely open. Walk to the back of your trailer and check for any leaks. Note: if your trailer is building too much pressure and the product is unloading good, open the blowdown valve a little to relieve some of the tank pressure. If you have to open the blowdown too much, you need to reduce your RPMs. You can do this by tapping the cruise control down button. This will decrease the RPMs by 25 to 50 RPM with each tap. Do not adjust your pressure control valve if the product is flowing well. After a period of steady pressure readings, the line pressure gauge followed by the tank pressure gauge will begin to drop. When the pressure drops 2 to 3 psi, close the first hopper and move on to the next hopper. Repeat this process for the remaining hoppers. Tip: the best unloading rates are obtained by keeping the pressure drop to a minimum during the hopper transfer. After you have gone through all the hoppers the first time, go back to the first hopper and go through them a second time because product will fall from one hopper to another. Do this with all the remaining hoppers. Each hopper will empty rather quickly. Allow the tank pressure to start dropping before switching to the next hopper. After finishing with all hoppers, close your pressure control valve and build your tank pressure up to 7 to 8 psi. While building pressure, go around the passenger side and make sure all hoppers are empty. Open your pressure control valve about halfway and then open the first hopper valve. When you hear a rush of air, close the hopper valve and move on to the next hopper. Complete all hoppers the same way. After that is complete, hit each hopper close to the bottom and on both sides to make sure you can hear a hollow sound. This means you are not leaving any product in your tank. Open your blowdown to release your tank pressure. Open your pressure control valve fully. This will ensure the customer's line is free of residue. Go to the truck, press the clutch to the floor, disengage your PTO switch, walk around your truck, take the hot hose off and put it back in the holding bracket. Note: be sure there is no pressure in the tank before continuing. Do this by putting your hand by the blowdown discharge area to feel for air. Warning: beware of the PTO shaft. Keep clear of the spinning shaft as loose clothing increases the risk of serious injury. It is now time to disconnect your hose. Disconnect from the customer's connection. Place the cap on your product hose. Place another cap on your product screen. Remove your screen from the customer's connection. Place a cap on the customer's connection and place your final cap on your screen. Slide the product hose into the hose tube. Remove the product hose from your discharge pipe on your trailer. Cap your trailer. Cap your product hose. Slide the remainder of the product hose into the hose tube. Seal the discharge line and the hose tube with food liner security seals. Also replace any seals that were removed during the unloading process. Do another walk around and make sure every seal that was cut is resealed with food liner security seals. Pick up any garbage that may be lying around and check to ensure you have picked up all of your equipment. Have the customer sign your bills and thank them before you leave. If you get stuck or not sure what to do, stop and call your fleet manager or your trainer. They will assist you in any way possible. If for any reason you have a spill of any kind, regardless of size or amount, call your fleet manager immediately and help clean up the spill before leaving the customer. Warning: beware of the PTO shaft. Keep clear of the spinning shaft as loose clothing increases the risk of serious injury.